In this video, I want to discuss about how to manage your environment. So in order to talk about managing environment, let me tell you what the environment I actually mean. When I say environment, what does it mean is this. Every day we are going to receive many inputs, right? And I can categorize the inputs that you receive to be coming from three things or three categories like this. One is from the people in our life. We have many people in our life, and they are going to talk something, and they are going to treat you in some way, and that is going to be input for you and your brain and your heart, and that is going to affect you either for a day or a month or sometimes years together. Therefore they form major part of your environment, the people in your environment. And the second thing is the things you read, which means the books, and the things you watch like the videos and the technology and the television, right? I call it as books and technology. They too form a major portion of your this environment. And recent research has shown that depending on the things that you watch on internet, or depending on the books that you read or the movies you watch, your performance for the next few days is going to be affected a lot. If you watch something which is pleasant and serene, your performance is going to pick up. And if you want something which is violent and which is not appropriate, then your performance is going to go down, right? So they form really an important part of your environment. And the third thing that your environment contains is, I can say it is workplace, which means where you are working. Either you are working at some job, or if you are a student, the college and your friends, everything, right? So we can categorize our environment like this, containing these three things. And now managing the environment. See, I'm saying that we could only manage the environment. We could not control it completely. The reason is we have no control over what happens to us, and the control we have is only on how much we take it inside. And second thing is, how do we react? Maybe you could read this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and in that he says this point. It is really interesting. See this. He says that we don't have any control over the input, which means we cannot control what people will say us and what we watch and listen. So we don't have any control over the input will come, and definitely you are going to react. This is the input and this is the output, right? So for any input, we are definitely going to react in some way. There is nothing like there is no reaction. Whatever happens to you, either you will feel happy or you'll feel sad. There is nothing in middle. Definitely these two things are going to happen. And now then how can we control the input? We cannot control it. Anything will happen to you. And output, yes, we could control it. See this. He says that there is a time gap between the input, what happens to you. I mean, that is what he call it as stimuli means what triggers you, and then the reaction. So according to his terminology, he says that the stimulus or the stimuli, which is going to be the input, is going to create a reaction, right? And now between the stimulus and the reaction, there is a small gap. He says that is where your freedom lies, and that is the freedom you have. You have the freedom to choose. So he says that if you are reacting violently, aggressively, then your character is very small. And it is not said in this book. There is one more book by this book is called Magic of Thinking Big. I don't remember the author's name exactly, but the book is Magic of Thinking Big. It is really worth reading. And in that book, the author says that depending on the size of your reactions, if you are really reacting violently, or if you are getting anger for even a small thing, then your character is very small, which means your character is inversely proportional to your reactions, right? So these two things, these are really interesting, right? So I'm saying that we really don't have any control over the inputs, but what we could do is we could manage the environment so that at least we could control some of the inputs, right? And then we could even filter out some of the inputs. That is what I'm saying. So now we cannot completely control our environment, but then at least we could see that the outside world doesn't form a part of your environment without your permission. The people in your life, the books you read, the technology you use, and the workplace, everything is in your hands. You can plan appropriately. Everything could be planned. You cannot completely control them. Now let's talk about each one by one. First thing is the people. So I'm talking about the people in your life. See, I don't know if I don't remember that point, but the point is like this: a person can be judged or a person can be known by the company he keeps. Depending on your friends, it seems that your character can be judged. So if you have a good company, then you are a good person. If you have a bad company, you are a bad person. See, there is nothing in this world like nowadays good and bad. I mean, I don't know what bad really means. That depends. That varies. That depends on your perception. But then what I could tell you is, instead of saying like that, if you want to be successful, get associated with successful people. Or coming to any exam preparation, if you want to be topper in the exam, then just get associated with the people who are also trying to become the toppers, so that you will have intellectual discussions, and then your brain is supposed to work that way. And even this group, this club of people whom you have chosen, they are continuously going to remind you about your goal whenever you have any discussion, isn't it? So you just test it for yourself. Maybe when you try to talk to a topper in your class, he will continuously be talking about what is the next thing. I mean, what should he learn or what is he learning, and he will ask you about what he is learning. And if you talk to someone who is rich and who is not interested in education at all, maybe he will always talk about what is the next movie he watched, and what is the movie you should go for, and parties, and maybe many other things, right? So that is the difference. So if you want to achieve something, just associate yourself with the people who are trying to do it. For example, if you are trying to achieve first rank in GATE, then try to associate with people who are also trying for the same goal, so that they will continuously remind you about your goal and even help you, support you in achieving it. So no time will ever be wasted if you have good associations. Now, in general, not about exam preparation, or if you are not a student, for general people, what happens is, now if you want to be successful, we should get associated with the successful people. But there is a problem. Successful people, they don't get associated with us. They really don't have time. Even though they are humble, they don't have time to spend with us, isn't it? Then how could we get associated with them? Unless you get successful, we get successful, we cannot reach them. They will not join us in their clubs, isn't it? Then what is the solution is, every successful person would have written some book about his work, or would have written about his life, that is called autobiography, or someone else would have written their biographies. Definitely one of these is going to happen. Every successful person, if you take in the world, see, according to me, the best teacher is life. Life teaches you a lot. Either you learn it, or you just don't learn it. It is up to you, but then it keeps on teaching you every minute, every moment. Life is the best teacher. Now, to learn a lot, I think your life is going to teach. But the problem is, if you have to learn from your life, it will take a lifetime. But we don't really have a lifetime to become successful, right? We want to become successful as early as possible, isn't it? Okay, that is up to you. Now, then how can we become successful is, don't just learn from your life. Don't just learn from your mistakes. One good thing is, we could learn from others' mistakes, we could learn from others' lives. Now, when you read about the autobiographies or the biographies written by someone else about the successful people, many times it will be, I feel like this, whenever I read any good book about, let us say, Steve Jobs, or maybe Ted Turner, Schwarzenegger, or many people, I read about many people, and whenever I read about these people, I feel that I am at their house having coffee with them, and they are narrating their life right from the beginning. It is the best thing that could happen to you. Don't worry about which field that great person is from. If a person is successful, his life will be really worth reading about, and you'll learn a lot. So what I learned is, when I read about all these successful people, I learned one characteristic which is common in all these people. I'll just tell you this. It is really, really interesting. What I found out is, these people, they actually, whenever they fail, initially they fail. Everyone, they try like this. They try, maybe let me write it here. I just want to show you the graph here. They have really some common characteristics like this. What they do is, they try and they fail, and again they try and they fail, right? So again they try and they fail, and they keep on trying like this. And once they get success, even though it is small, it is going to create a lot of confidence in them that next time when they are going to try by putting everything they have into it. And again they try, they'll fail. Obviously, see, I have never seen anyone who has succeeded in everything that they tried, right? But then next time when they succeed, they are going to succeed a big time. That is how their graph is. They are going to fail, sure, but then when they succeed, it is going to be very big. And suddenly what happens to these people is they just ignore these failures. They just don't take them seriously. But when they get succeeded, when they see the success, they get obsessed with this success so much that they start behaving as if they are the chosen ones, as if failure is not for them, and they reject the failures they reject failure completely. Which means, I would like to tell you this: if you experience a big success in your life one time, then you'll never go back to being a failure. You'll never accept it. That is what happens to all these people. One common characteristic is they fail, but when they succeed, they are going to love it so much that they want to have it again and again. And the others, what happens is, the remaining people who are not successful, what I found out is, see, they try and they fail, and they're going to take this failure to their heart so seriously that they will not try again. They'll get scared to try again, right? And then and again the next time when they try, even with a lot of doubt, they will try. So what they're taking is, they're taking failure as so seriously, while the successful people are taking success so seriously, and failure they are just thinking that is a way of life. They are just thinking that is just a path to success. That is where the difference is. Successful people, they only care about success. They neglect failures, and they act as if they are immune to failure. Really, you should read about all these people. Whenever they take any big decisions, they never doubt themselves. I mean, they just act as if failure is not for them. They act as if they are the chosen ones. There is no way they could fail. They really act as it, like that. And many times it really happens. And this luck, there is a factor definitely called luck, and luck favors them. I found out that every time when they risk everything they have, somehow miraculously they are again getting it back, and that is what I call as luck. So when you invest everything that you have, with a lot of hope, obviously the luck factor is going to favor you, right? There is a saying, I don't remember it, okay, leave it. So what I mean to say is, luck is also going to favor you if you are willing to try hard, and if you just refuse these failures. Please read about these books. They are really interesting. Whatever the field you are in, don't worry, read about successful people, all people, who, whenever you find time. That is the best thing you could do to your life. And the next thing is, once the people, so if you don't find any successful people, read about them. If you could find good people, a mentor, always try to get a mentor or a guide who is willing to guide you. If it is always like this. If you are in a tour, if you are going to trek, right, or if you are going on a mountain climbing, it is better that you take a guide who has already seen the path and who will just give you some advices, that tips, that just be careful here, careful there, it is just like this, and then their experience is going to be useful, right? So get the coach, get the guide. Always have a guide. For example, if you are trying to build your body, right, get a coach in your gym, right? Or see that at least you have some experienced person who is going to guide you. Otherwise, you cannot directly go and build your body in 1 or 2 days. It takes a lot of experience to put in. What kind of food you should take, and what kind of workout you should do, and how many sets, how many repetitions, everything that comes with experience, or at least you read about the books, right? So get a guide in whatever you are planning to do, right? And next thing is, after people, the second most thing that affect us is books and what we read. So I found out that many people, immediately after they wake up, they start reading the newspaper, as if the world will stop if they don't know the news, if they don't read the news. They act as if, at least I have seen many people. So early in the morning, first thing, they open the newspaper and they'll sit. That is the worst thing really you could do. Either the news channels, television, or the newspapers. When you start reading them, what happens is, this newspapers and television, they try to prove that the world is bad and everything that is happening around us is bad, and world is going to end and maybe we should die. Because that is what they wanted to spread. The bad news is going to get a lot of TRP. Good news is never going to get any TRP, isn't it? So maybe you could even find it out if there is any bad picture as the in a video. If they have any bad scene, and if they put that video first, then definitely that video is going to have millions of views. And if someone says that this is the message by Vivekananda or by Mahatma Gandhi, you please read it, then the views will be so less that you could just test it. Maybe if you are watching this video, see the videos that are there in the list and see how many likes and how many views that a bad video will get compared to the good video. That is so we cannot blame the newspapers or the televisions. It is the world. We love the bad news, right? We are not interested in good news. We are not interested in good things. If someone does some bad thing, yes, we love to listen about it, we love to talk about it, and maybe we love to spread it, right? So that is why these newspapers are really bad. If you read that book, Magic of Thinking Big, in one chapter he says that it is like this: reading a newspaper early in the morning is like opening a car engine and then taking the dustbin and putting the garbage in your engine and then closing it and going out on a drive. It is like this: opening your brain and then putting garbage in it. Actually, the newspaper is a very good package of garbage, right? So what they do is everything will be there. So I'm not saying that you should completely shut down the news. You could learn about, if you are interested about politics, maybe you could go to the politics section and then just see what is going on around you. Only few important things, yes, but then not everything that is happening. You cannot do anything, right? If somewhere some accident has happened, what is that you have to do with it? It is done. You cannot do anything now. Why should you read about it? And what is the use of seeing those violent pictures, the blood and all, right? So just see that you don't allow any such things into your environment. Say no to newspapers, say no to television news, and say no to many television programs. If possible, don't have a TV at your home. That is the best thing you could do. If you are interested in watching some serials, obviously you could watch the selected serials or selected programs in the internet as well. And internet has a good thing that you could shut down whatever you don't want, and you could shut down the commercials and all, right? So try to keep that in mind, and don't get into news at all. And the next thing is kind of books. What is the books you read? So the books, as I said, there are many good books. So depending on your field, you could choose about technical books, or if you are talking about some good books, read about the autobiographies. As I said, they are going to help you a lot. And the next one is the next main thing is, or the most important thing is, we are going to spend a lot of our time in our workplace, at our workplace. If you look at it, maybe every week we are going to spend nearly 40 hours at our workplace. So that is a major part of your life, right? And therefore it is very important that you choose the workplace well, and after choosing it, you design it properly so that it will help you in achieving your goal. So if you are a student, I mean to say that your workplace is the room in which you are going to read and in which you are going to study for a long time. Then that studying room, it should be properly ordered. First thing is, don't have a bed in your study room, or never read on bed. You know what happens, right? You will start out sitting on the bed, and then slowly you will lean back, and slowly you will sleep and lie down, and then you will sleep for maybe 3-4 hours, right? So don't do that. So what I mean to say is, just don't have bed in your workplace, the room that you have dedicated for this studying. And second thing is, get a very good reading chair. So reading chair is very important for students more than anyone. It is very important for students. Get a very good office chair. You know this. See this. I'll just tell you what kind of chair you should be buying is, since you are going to spend most of your time in a chair. Everyone nowadays, no one is going to do physical labor, right? Everyone is going to sit and then do the work. Therefore chair is very important. So don't get any chair which is having a shape like this. Your chair should have always a shape like this, right? Which means this back should be in this shape. So you should push your back this way, and your spinal cord should bend this way, right? A slight bending should be there. Otherwise what happens is, lot of pressure is going to fall on your back here. And I'm not an expert in this, but I have learned this by reading about this biology books, what they say is between two bones of your backbone there is some layer, and now that layer, watch it, even you bend it this way for a long time, now that layer is going to be taking lot of pressure at one point, at this point, and that is what they call it as again I forgot the name. They have some name for this. Yes, it starts with a spondylitis or something, which means there is a chance that when you are sitting in a chair for a long time and if it is not proper, you are going to develop some back issues, and back pain is going to bring down more than any other problem, back pain. And when you are having a healthy fit body, try to see that it is fit forever. Otherwise, it is always better to be fit rather than getting into fitness. Rather than getting again, getting out of fitness and again getting into it. It is always better that you stay fit instead of getting out of it and again getting in back. It is very, very difficult. So get a proper chair. And second thing is, see that your chair should have hand rest. So when you sit, you should sit in such a way that your hands are rested properly. Why this is important is our shoulders and our neck, in fact, they are going to carry lot of pressure from our hands, right? And when you rest it, our shoulders are relaxed, and that is why hand rest is very important. Get a chair which is in this shape, and moreover hand rest is important. And next thing is your this one, headrest is important. So you should not sit whenever you sit, it is better that you lean back and then read, and the book should be in your eye level, which means you sit on a table, you should have a table, and now the chair, and over the table you should have a reading some pad or something which should raise up, or if you are reading from a laptop, you have a laptop table in such a way that will bring the screen of the computer or the book that you are reading in such a way that will be appropriately in this eye line, right? So the line between your eye and this should be horizontal. Don't bend your head like this and waste work on for a long time, either at your office or in your at your home. Don't bend like this and read, or don't bend like this and then do the work. And don't sit on a bed with a laptop in your lap, even though the name of the laptop is to be the name suggests that you should keep it in the lap. Don't do that. If you keep it in your lap and bend it, it is going to hurt your neck, back, shoulders, everything. So get a proper chair, because you are going to spend most of your time working at your workplace. So don't neglect it, even though it might look silly, but it is really, really serious thing. And if you are rich, maybe if you could afford, in India there are no good chairs available. I searched everywhere, and I really experimented on this. I didn't find any good chairs. There is no company which is providing a very good design chair or for sitting. I did my best, but I failed. But in US there is a person, his name is Neil Different. I don't remember exactly his name. I think his name is this, Niels, Neil, Neil. You just please Google out Different, okay, and DIFRENT or something. Niels Different. He is the world's famous designer of the chairs, and he designed a chair in such a way that the chair name is Human Scale, HUMAN, Human Scale. You could order it and get it. It is, I think, going to cost you 30,000-40,000 just for one chair. So maybe it is too much an investment if you are a student, and if you can't afford it, don't worry. After you get into a job and after you earn, you see that you get it. But then I know it is very costly, and you have to get it from US. Maybe Amazon is having it. I don't know. I tried it, but then I didn't find any link to get it. So it is up to you. You just see if you could find it. If you are already at US, maybe you could get it. That is the best chair. I have there is also a TED talk on this. You just watch it, it will be very nice. Okay, and now it is all about the this chair. So first thing is, no bed, read on the reading chair. And next thing is, in your room you try to hang good posters which will inspire you. It is always better that you have a role model. Role model means if you want to become if you are in some field, if you are in acting, maybe have a role model like Amir Khan. If you are a sports person, have a role model like Sachin Tendulkar, right? So what you do is, you take their pictures, and or if you are in some other field, and you see who is the top person in that field, and you take that person's picture along with the quotes he has given, along with his thoughts. You prepare a poster or if you can buy it, okay, otherwise you prepare it yourself. Prepare a poster and hang it in your room, so that whenever you look at that poster, they will continuously remind you, and you will feel happy that you are going to someday you are going to become that person. For example, if you are trying to build your body, it is better that you have Arnold Schwarzenegger. For example, if you are trying to build your body, it is better to have Arnold Schwarzenegger's picture on your wall, because it is going to remind you that someday you might look like him. Okay, so it is all up to you. So you decide who your role model is, and always better that you have that picture, so that you could visualize. You could visualize, that you want to become that person, and then once you visualize, your brain is going to believe, and once your brain believes, it will give you many ways, so that you could work and put your time and then be that person. And if you are preparing for any exam like GATE or MS or anything, GRE or something, then what you should do is you should go and take the pictures of your dream college. If you want to get into IISc, take the pictures of IISc, hang them in your room, right? And then posters, you just paste them on the walls, and every day you try to watch it. So you visualize it and you dream about it so much that you will definitely get it. I'll tell you a story of a person. I should not take the name of her because it is a video. I have a classmate. She said this. She told me this. She wanted to get into IISc. Then what she's not a genius kind. I'm not a genius, and she's also of normal average level, average student definitely. She told me that. And now what she did was, it seems that every day, whenever she gets a chance, she used to go to IISc. She was living just nearby IISc, and she used to go to IISc inside the college. I think she tried for GATE 3-4 times, and finally she succeeded. And last time what she did is, before the exam, that entire 1 year of preparation, she used to go to IISc every day and sit there, and she used to say to herself that I want to get into this college, I want to get into this college, I want to get into this college. And miraculously she got a rank. The reason is she visualizes it. I feel the reason is this. Again, science proves it. Once you visualize your aim so well, your brain will start believing that you are going to achieve it, and therefore you are going to put lot of effort. See, it is like this. If you definitely know that you are going to get succeed in what your aim is, if you are definitely sure that you are going to achieve it, the way you work will be very, very different from the way if you have any doubt. If you have any doubt that you might fail, then you will not put in your heart into it. But if you are very sure that you are going to get into it, or you are going to achieve it, then you are going to put your heart in that. That thing is going to make the difference. So more than anything, I think visualization is important. So how could you visualize? I suggest that if you have time, go to your dream college and get into the college and take your pictures in that college and post your pictures in your room or in your mobile phone, and continuously look at them, right? They are going to inspire you a lot, and they are going to help you a lot, right? And this is about the work environment. And then in your workplace, see that everything that you want are inside the room, so that once you enter the room, you need not go out, and don't let anyone come in while you are working. Make it very, very make it very clear to the others that while you are working, it is serious, and you are really doing a serious stuff, and you should not be taken light. Okay, and they should really understand that no one should disturb you. And now once you get into the room, you finish some work, then only you get out. So what happens is, if your books are in one room and if you are reading in other room, and while you are going to get a book, and on the way there is a TV room, that is a disaster, isn't it? You'll sit down, and once you just go out of your room, the environment is going to change your mind so much that you will again not want to get into the room, right? See that you are going to spend your life, most of your time in your workspace until you achieve your goal. And how much time should you put in that is up to you. How much time you have, how much time you could put into it, right? So that is how you should manage the workspace. So these are all the various key things that collectively form your environment, and if you could manage all these things, then definitely you are going to achieve your goal. I'm not saying that you could control it. And one more thing I would really talk about, I would like to talk about people is, I'm not an expert again in this topic, but then I have found out that I should, from others I learned this. See, so coming to the people, never make one person your world. one person or one thing, your world. Your world should be full of interesting people, I mean good people whom you consider to be successful. So never make a single person, especially for students, it is very very important. Never make a single person your complete world. Don't blind out. Okay, what happens is, if anything happens and if this person wants to move out of your world, you'll suddenly feel that your world is empty, and your world is, is empty. If she wants to move out, then you'll feel that you don't have anyone in this world and you don't want to live for anything, right? So that is really really a bad thing that could happen to you. So don't make a mistake of depending on someone completely or making someone your world. Your world should be full of people who are good people. And second thing, when I say that your world should be full of people, don't let every damn person, every other person get into your world, and don't get close to anyone, right? So when you're, see, that is what I talk about, managing your environment. Once a person is in your environment, you really cannot control them. See, many people think that they could control others, but it is really really wrong. You cannot control others, as well as you should not control them. If someone wants to move out of your life, let them go, because they have better people to deal with. Maybe you are not good for them, let them go, accept it. But then once when you have a choice to make, like whom you should get into your life, please choose it well. So before getting someone too close, or before getting close to anyone, before getting them touch your heart, so please see that these people know how to handle your heart. Okay, so don't get close to every other person, but then fill your world with many people like your friends. They all should be good, and they all should be caring and loving, and they all should help you when you are down, right? So if you could find such people, fill your world with them, right? And then don't have just a single thing to do in your life. For example, if you are preparing for GATE, and I'm not saying that your entire life should be GATE. GATE is definitely not the life. It could change your life. That is what I could say. GATE is definitely not the life, right? So don't see that you will only wake up, prepare for GATE, and then sleep. Wake up, prepare for GATE, and then sleep. Don't do that. You should have a lot of hobbies, activities, interesting things to go on, to do that. Your life is so busy that you don't have any time to stop for anyone, right? So see that you have many things going on in your life, not just a single boring thing. So always keep this in mind. Okay, so don't tie yourself to a single person or a single thing. Okay, you fill your world with many things. So this is what I read from many books, and this is what I understood and I summarized. I hope that this information is going to help you a lot. And in case if you like these videos, and if you would like to watch many such videos, even more videos I'll be making every day or every week, you please subscribe to this channel, and then you'll be getting the notifications, and you could share them with your friends and family, and it will help you all. So my only intention is to help you, so that my knowledge, whatever I gained, whichever I learned, I just want to share with you all. Thank you for watching.